This is the most neglected and overlooked page on your website, but it's responsible for helping people decide if they want to work with you or not. And that's the About page. Most likely your website About page is losing you customers, but in this video, we're going over how to fix it. Welcome back, my friends. Today we are talking about the About page on your website and how it's losing you customers and how you can fix it. Let's jump into this. Many people mistakenly neglect and overlook their About page, not realizing that it is responsible for helping customers to decide on if they want to work with you and your business. So what you find on a lot of About pages is just this big paragraphs and paragraphs of text, and it's just their story, like how we started, and it's all about them. That's pretty common. So we're going to flip that up a little bit, and we're going to go over some other things that you should have on your About page. So first off, your About page should connect your visitors to your story and humanize your brand or your company. So yes, you want to tell your story, but try to tell your story in a way that connects your visitor or helps your visitor relate to you as a person and not just a company. So you want to try to make it not just all about you, but instead focus on how your story benefits them, like by working with you. So how you can relate because of your story to their situation and how that translates into your services. So something like that, right? You want to describe how you will help them get their desired results, and also explain to them in this About content what transformation you are bringing to them. So make sure you include that as well. It's not just about, we started here and now we're here and this timeline of events that happened, so make your story more about that. So when you tell your story, it's really the storytelling is the easiest way to capture their attention, and your story is the connection that will allow them to relate to you on a more personal level. So you're better off talking about why you do what you do. So I would recommend writing this up and then finding a copywriter that knows how to write website copy and have them make it better, right? So we're by default probably not always the best writers, and someone that knows what they're doing, just besides the grammar side of it, is just going to help them. If you tell them this is what I'm trying to do, they might be able to ask you different questions to get that information out. So that's that story piece in your About page, and that's really an important part. So when you have that About page that does have that text of your story, you're close. It's just maybe looking at that story and changing it up and making it to where you can get those, how it benefits the customer, how your story and how they can relate to you. Okay, it should also talk about what makes you different. Why would they want to work with you? So you want to keep that conversation benefits driven. Talk about the perks people will receive when working with you. Let them know what's in it for them, right? So we're still keeping it about them. This is also where you can reinforce that brand voice, where you can use your tone, are you funny or are you serious or are you elegant, or what is that tone in your business and your brand? You also want to keep in mind you want to write in the first person, so use words like you, we, us. Avoid the third person here, as it turns out to be kind of cold and distant, right? So I recommend that. Also, what a lot of people forget on their About page is it doesn't just start and stop with your story. You also want to include social proof. So some testimonials, some logos, organizations of people that you've worked with. It's always good because what you're doing here is you're building trust. As they're connecting with your brand through your story, you're also building trust with that social proof. Keep in mind, this page is the page people visit after they've gotten a little bit more information about you and they want to learn more about you and who's involved in your company. And they're really kind of making that decision on whether they want to work with you. That's why they're visiting the About page. They've already seen your services. They already know what you offer. Now they want to see if you're the right fit for that offer. Okay. Also, keep it visual. Include a lot of images. Make sure you include your team. Have behind the scenes images or photos or videos. Always works really well. And again, be sure to include a clear call to action. You always want to have that. You have to, even it's an About page, but you still need to have that call to action. What is the action you want them to take? That one action. Make sure you include that in your About page. A lot of people do not, and that's a mistake. You want to have that. So that's it. That's the About page. Making these changes on your About page is going to make a huge difference in your website's performance. So go check out your About page, make these changes, and I'd love to hear back from you how this went for you and what those changes were that you made. I'd love to see some of the changes. Feel free to contact me and show me. I'd love to see that, and maybe we can highlight them for our other viewers and listeners. Okay, so that wraps us up with this About page. Again, we do have our course, our DIY website course, opened up for free right now. Link in the show notes if you want to go check that out. That ends at the end of January, so that's coming up. And then also I want to invite you to our private Facebook group. It is a link I have a link in the show notes to that as well. I hope to see you there, and we'll see you in the next episode.